Welcome to IPOB Media. Thank you for always tuning into our channel. We really appreciate you. God bless you. All right, if you're new to this channel, this is IPOB Media, the place where we bring you the gospel of Biafra. Yes, this is the only channel where we bring you the latest legit news, information, updates, trends, happenings, events, and everything you need to know about Biafra and our struggle for freedom. All right, we bring you news also that are related to Biafra's freedom from Nigeria. All right, please subscribe to this channel, right? This is a way to do us some favor. Subscribe to this channel, click on the notification bell so you don't get to miss out on any of our interesting videos as we push out videos on a daily basis. And don't forget to share on all your social media platforms so that this video will go viral and Biafrans will get to know what is going on, right? Okay, we encourage you to share your thoughts in the comment section and give this video a thumbs up. All right, straight up into what we have for you today. Mazi Simon Ekpa has come out in this week broadcast, right, to tell us, everything we need to know about this struggle. And he made emphasis that this year, 2023, that Biafra will get her freedom, right? I want you to watch this video to the very end, right? As he carefully explains, the steps that are, the plans he has, right? Him and, Biafra Republic Government in Exile members, right? The structure they have and the plans they have to get, the freedom of Biafra this year, right? It's a very interesting one. Enjoy this video.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, fellow Biafrans all over the world. I greet you from my snowing country and beautiful country, Finland, this evening. And this is the State of the Nation broadcast that is going to be the paradigm shift in the Biafra liberation. Good evening, Biafrans, lovers of freedom, and friends of Biafrans across the globe. The gentlemen and ladies of the press that are hooked up to this program today from different parts of the world. I would like to start this state address today by drawing some kind of from the Bangladesh and Pakistani War of 1971. The 1971 Liberation War of the Bangladesh against Pakistani continues to shape the mindset of the Bangladesh sense of nationalism and has forged their contemporary constitution. The Bangladesh we see today is essentially the fruit of the Liberation War of 1971. And in order to know the history of Pakistanese colonialism and the event surrounding the 1971 Liberation War that turned Bangladesh into an independent sovereign state, we need to, again, look into the Biafra issue and the event that has happened for the last 2 years. The Liberation War of the Bangladesh people was not merely a war of independence fought by Bangladesh nationalists, but one of its main reasons that triggered the Bangladesh War of Liberation was religion. Religion. The Pakistani government, as at then, wanted to turn Bangladesh into exemplary Muslim by alienating them from their Hindu background. That's exactly what Nigeria is doing today. Nigeria government is now an Islamic State government where the Muslim is a president or becoming a president-elect and the vice is president-elect. And this Biafra will never accept no matter what. Apart from that, this has been the problem of Nigeria from inception, from 1914, go to the independence in 1960 and beyond. And today, the manifestation of the Islamic State in Nigeria is getting clearer by the day. This we saw many years ago, and that's what is leading to most of this agitation springing up for the disintegration of Nigeria, which is for the best interest of every ethnic nationality that made up Nigeria today. I want Biafrans to understand this concept of the religious division was also used as a root cause of the creation of Pakistan in the first place, following the British colonialism of the subcontinent. Ironically, religion brought together Bangladesh and Pakistan as one state during the partition of the subcontinent, and later the very same religion separated the two. I want you to understand that this is going to happen this year in Nigeria, between Nigeria and Biafra. It does not matter whether you accept it or not. We have been able to ascertain that the majority of Biafrans, over 90% of Biafrans, have rejected Nigeria through the just concluded general election. And that is going to be very clear today in this particular State of the Nation broadcast. Comprehending, I want you to understand that the comprehending the development of the liberation war of Bangladesh involved a meticulous retrospective look into the event leading to the partition of the Indian subcontinent, following the devastating effect of the Second World War. The British colonialists gave up their control over Indian subcontinent, and the 1947 partition outlined two independent nations, India and Pakistan. This is the same with Nigeria and Biafra today. We have seen the worst of it during the last general election. It was not jihad. It was not just an election, but a jihad election. A jihad election against the Biafra people. And we have seen widespread condemnation of the result from local to international communities. However, this condemnation will not change the fact that it was a jihadist election where extremist Muslims from the Yorubas waged a series of attacks against Igbo Christians in Lagos. It is not also only the extremist Yorubas, Muslim Yorubas, but also most of the Fulanis in Lagos have been used to perpetrate this attack against Igbos and their businesses in Lagos for voting against their religion and for voting for Peter Obi. My fellow Biafrans, if you think that this is just an attack, or the attack that is going on today against the Igbos in Lagos or in various parts of Nigeria is going to end, then you are a joker. The attack against you is just starting. This is many years and decades of planning that is being executed now. Their target is to silence your voice physically and in the ballot box. They have succeeded somehow in silencing your voice that today you dare not speak in Nigeria. Today, you dare not condemn or criticize the government in Nigeria because it is a jihadist government. If you do that, you are a dead man. So they have succeeded in silencing you, using force and terrorism to silence your voice in Nigeria. And now they are taking it to the ballot box, making sure they silence your voice in the ballot box. They have succeeded in all these things, including now, the last election shows that they will stop at nothing until they silence you in the ballot box. I want my fellow Biafrans and those listening to me today to know that your voice in the ballot box will be silenced by the jihadist government of Nigeria with terrorism, and they will not stop until this is done. Because many of you don't understand, many of you are very unreasonable people who are looking for the head of those fighting for your liberation. My fellow Biafrans, Nigeria has been in joint military training, studying the map of Nigeria and Biafra with the Pakistani government. Many of you do not understand why Nigeria aligned with Pakistan to train their air force and their pilot in studying and monitoring the map of the Nigeria. Is because they are using the template that Pakistani use against the Bangladesh in order to subjugate them and turn them into Islamic State, which the Bangladesh people rejected. And today, you are going to see a similarity in what we are doing in this Biafra liberation movement. The reason for this collaboration between Nigeria and Pakistan is nothing else than the Islamic agenda. And today, it is manifesting. Atiku and the other Muslims can never go against the outcome of the election in good faith because it is a dream come true. And win-win for Muslims in the north, Boko Haram, Islamic State, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and all the terrorist organizations and groups in Nigeria. This is a win-win for them. They can never go against this election, against the result in good faith. And our message today also goes to the ignorant people following them in PDP, because Atiku can never fight with his heart. He knows that he is going to be more comfortable in an Islamic state of Nigeria than in a secular state. So if he go out there to fight against the Muslim ticket or the Muslim president and vice president Muslim, he is just deceiving you. The fight is not real. And I want you to understand that the judiciary has been taken over by the Muslims, the executive Muslims, the military Muslims, the police Muslims, and it is only Biafra that is going to save you from this mess. Atiku also validated the killing of the young lady, the young girl in the northern Nigeria for blasphemy. She was stoned to death, and Atiku condoned it in this 21st century. Atiku can never go against the Muslim ticket. That is what they have prayed for. And do not allow yourself to be used. We are not going to be used, and we cannot be deceived. That's why the Biafra liberation and exit from Nigeria will happen at all costs this year. My fellow Biafrans, just like the Bangladesh people has had enough of the Islamic agenda and they liberated themselves from the Islamic Pakistan rulership, so will the Biafra people liberate themselves this year, 2023, from the Islamic-dominated Nigeria government. In the same way, Pakistani government embarked on a widespread crackdown of the Bangladesh activists. In the wake of the crackdown, on March 25th, 1971, the Awami League leader felt bereft and were left to their devices. Senior leader fled from their houses to take shelter in a remote village in India. Most of them took refuge in India. They left and fled their country in Pakistan. Among them was the Awami League General Secretary Tajuddin Ahmed. Tajuddin Ahmed fled because of the crackdown of the Pakistani government in March 25th. The Indian authority gave them safety and shelter. When they fled the country because of the crackdown, the exact thing the Nigeria government are doing today, the Islamic government of Nigeria is doing today to Christians, Biafrans, mainly Christian Biafrans that are fighting to liberate themselves from them. They will have start and onslaught against our people, including crackdown on Biafrans. And those innocent Biafrans who are not even part of the Biafra Liberation Army have fallen victim of this. The evening of April 1, 1971, Tajuddin and Barrister Amirul Islam were put on board a Russian-made Antonov cargo aircraft. In extreme secrecy, they were flown from Calcutta to New Delhi. 2 days after his arrival in New Delhi, his meeting with the Prime Minister of India, Indira Gandhi took place on April 3rd, 1971. It was the first official contact of the Awami League leaders with India government more than a week after the crackdown of Dhaka started. He was not only the party general secretary, but also the right-hand man of the Bagabandu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who was the original leader of the Bangladesh Liberation of War, who was arrested. The main leader was arrested on the fateful night and flown to the West Pakistan, just like the way they kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who is the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra today, and we do not allow the movement to die. Mrs. Gandhi and her aides were apparently impressed with the Tajuddin, who was adept at explaining the overall situation prevailing in Bangladesh before March 25th crackdown. He was acting on the instruction of the Bangabandhu. He appraised Mrs. Gandhi of the freedom movement that has started and said that the people of Bangladesh were determined to continue their struggle until independence was achieved. He sought all-out support from the government of India. That is exactly the situation of Biafra people today. We are doing exactly even more because the Nigeria situation is very, very, kind of a little bit more worse than what the Bangladesh and Pakistani went through. When the people of Bangladesh launched a comprehensive war of liberation, it was the young guerrillas that played a vital role. The freedom fighters, most of them came from rural background and college university students, put up fierce resistance to the Pakistani army, who had started killing thousands of innocent people, including women and children. The freedom fighters, clad in lungi and shirt, who had no training in guerrilla warfare, blended in with the locals, fought the brutal occupation forces and the Bangladesh collaborators. They also have Bangladesh collaborators against the Bangladesh independence, just like the Biafra people have the Ohaneses, the governors, and the political elite fighting against our freedom today. It is the same thing happened to Bangladesh people. The first task of the Awami League leaders was to gain support from the government of India. Besides guerrillas, a regular army division was created around the nucleus of the then East Bengal Regiment. I want to assure Biafra people today that this is the face of the Biafra liberation at the moment. Bangladesh Exile government was based on the principles of collective responsibility. They also had their own exile government that was based on the principles of collective interest and responsibility. But Tajuddin played the vital role. He acted as the spokesperson of the people of Bangladesh, just like Simon Ekpa is acting as the spokesperson of the Biafra people today. But his choice as the prime minister was not anonymous. To run the provisional government, he had to overcome a lot of difficulties to face the many challenges. The same challenges we are facing today in autopilot movement of the Biafra liberation. The first challenge, the same challenges Simon Ekpa is facing today is the same thing the Tajuddin man from Bangladesh faced during their liberation war. There were not only differences of opinion among the Awami League leaders, but also grouping and bickering aplenty, intellectually sound and unassuming. Tajuddin was a cool-headed person in the absence of Bangladesh, in the absence of their leader, Babangadu. Had he not been chosen as the prime minister of the exile government, it would have been difficult for any Awami leader or Awami League leader to handle the complex situation. The same way that we are having different complex issues today as we prepare our exit from Nigeria. But Tajuddin maintained proper liaison with the host Indian authority as well as various groups and freedom fighters. My fellow Biafrans, we started our countdown to exit Nigeria on the 5th of October 2022. And during this countdown that ended today, as a matter of fact, our countdown ended today, the 5th day of March 2023. We recorded a lot of success in creating awareness during this countdown, building and strengthening alliances with our neighbors like the Oduduwas. Joint brief took place. Joint brief between us and Oduduwas took place on the 5th of November 2022. Sorry, 1 moment. You're welcome back. The joint press briefing between Biafra people and Oduduwa took place on November 5th, 2022. We sustained and reawakened the Biafra spirit through the hoisting of Biafra flag of the rising sun, which took place on the 21st day of November 2022 at exactly 12 a.m. throughout the 31 state and province of Biafra. During this countdown, we defended Biafra land against rampaging Nigeria state terrorists who comes to kill our people at will. We made sure they do not have their way. We made sure that they have always left Biafra land defeated. It is no longer business as usual like before, when they will come, kill, maim, rape our women, kill our children, and go free without resistance. During the countdown of the Biafra exit, we defended Udi in Enugu province of Biafra land against terrorist state and both state and non-state actors. During the time of this countdown, we defended Exile, we defended Ehamufu, we defended Four Corner, Enugu, and beyond. We defended many places in other parts of Biafra land and continue to do so. We stopped the terrorist Nigerian army from further burning of our homes and shops and business places and marketplaces with equal measures and resistance. All this happened during the countdown of the Biafra exit. We also made history during this countdown. During our December 2022 lockdown, between the 9th of December to 14th of December 2022, in preparation for no election in Biafra land, which affected the voters across Nigeria, not just in Biafra land. As the voters turnout can attest to this fact, our over 93 million registered voters, only 27% were, voted. But the issue is that from our record, we are to inform you today that the 27% voters recorded by ANEC, they are all false and fortified. It's fake. The number of Nigerians that participated in the vote is not up to 15%. And it is a credit to the Biafra movement who created the awareness, educated them on the need to reject Nigeria. And today, over 73% of the Biafra people, Nigeria people, rejected the one Nigeria. The indigenous people in Nigeria have rejected Nigeria, and that is the reason why you have the low voters turnout, which is to say that many indigenous and ethnic nationalities in Nigeria are no longer interested to continue one Nigeria. I want you to disregard whatever that is happening on social media. Nigeria controls the media, and many people in the media are mostly the criminals that are benefiting from one Nigeria. But the main people, the main voters, the main Nigerians, the main people that found themselves in Nigeria no longer want Nigeria. These are the 73% that refused and rejected Nigeria. We are going to go into breakdown of how Biafra rejected Nigeria in the last election from the voters that were counted and registered and were announced. These are indigenous people, which means 73% of indigenous people in Nigeria rejected Nigeria. I want Biafrans to understand this evening that going through the outcome of the election that took place, or the fraudulent election that took place on the 25th of February 2023, we have the following announcement and observation. The following observation we have today. The total voters in the south part of Biafra, the total registered voters in the south part of Biafra are 14,440,714 voters registered in the south part of Biafra land. From these 14 million registered voters, only 2,497,740 people casted their vote. Which means from the south part of Biafra, 10,907,606 persons rejected Nigeria. From the south part of Biafra, only 2 million people, 2,281,805 people accepted one Nigeria. I want you, the international observers, I want you, media people watching me today, to do the calculation. What is the percent of those that voted for one Nigeria in the south of Biafra, and what is the percent of those that rejected one Nigeria by not casting their vote from the south of Biafra? We have 10 million people that say we are going with Biafra and we say no to one Nigeria, and they rejected the election. They refused to participate and validate Nigeria. This is a pass. This is a pass. And this is the highest grade. It is over 80%. We have 14 million people that registered to cast their vote in Nigeria from the south part of Biafra, and only 2 million people participated at the end of the day to validate Nigeria. And 10 million people rejected it. So we have 10 million in the referendum that say, let Biafra go from the south part of Biafra. From the southeast part of Biafra, we have a total number of registered voters at 10,907,606 persons. From this number that registered to vote in Nigeria, only 2,281,805 persons casted their vote to validate one Nigeria, while about 8 million people rejected the Nigeria election. 8 million of people, of Biafra people from the southeast, rejected the Nigeria election. What does that tell you in referendum? It is complete knockdown against those who want to validate Nigeria. There are only 2 million in the southeast, Why we are 8 million people who rejected. They were ready to go and validate Nigeria election, but we said no to them. We told them not to go to validate it. They have the reason why they did not go. And this cut across Nigeria, across the board. So we have 8 million that rejected this election and rejected Nigeria from the 25th day of February 2023. 8 million Biafrans from the Biafra part of the Southeast rejected this election. Now, the total registered voters in the entire Biafra territory, which is comprising the Southeast and the South, is 25,348,346 people. From this number of 25 million people in the entire Biafra territory that shows their interest to participate in Nigeria election, only 4,779,544 people registered their interest to maintain one Nigeria. And from this, 20 million people rejected Nigeria from the entire Biafra land. I want you to understand that if this is the referendum we are talking about, it is complete knockout. That out of 25 million people that registered to vote, 20 million rejected, that they don't want to validate Nigeria again. And this is going to be the reason why the next coming announcement that I'm going to make on this broadcast today, you will understand where we are going, because the countdown have ended today, and the next question is, what next? What next? The result of this election that I'm analyzing to you now have necessitated our next move for the liberation of Biafra. I want to make it very clear for those who are taking the record that 25,348,346 people registered from the entire Biafra land to participate in Nigeria election. And they rejected the election. They rejected it because they know that Nigeria can never work again. And only 4,779,544 people approved, and they decided to validate Nigeria. This is a failure. They failed because the numbers that rejected Nigeria is 20 million. Why only 4 million validated Nigeria? It is unacceptable. The 4 million people cannot decide the fate of 70 million people that we found in Biafra territory, home and abroad. Having said this, my fellow Biafrans, for the past 19 months, we have demonstrated through our civil disobedience our readiness to exit Nigeria this year. We have continued to enjoy the loyalty of the people of Biafra, home and abroad. We are happy for the sacrifice they have made and done so far for the past 19 months, especially during the last fraudulent election. And in each seat at home, they have obeyed and listened to the instruction given to them. We really thank them for understanding the fact that Nigeria must divide and Biafra must go. We ask them to remain very resolute, because more sacrifices will be made for us to achieve our aims and goal. Since our countdown have ended today, we have entered the next stage of the liberation and the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, our leader, who is still being illegally detained by the Islamic State of Nigeria, which is exactly what it has become. From today, being the 5th day of March 2023, the Biafra Liberation Army will start engaging every presence of Nigeria state within Biafra territory. Going forward, from today, as we end the countdown to the liberation of Biafra, from today, I am mandating the advisory committee of Biafra to activate with full force all the Biafra government in exile functionalities. The Biafra Advisory Committee have from now till the 20th of March 2023 to set up Biafra liaison offices across the world, especially and specifically in the following countries. The Biafra Advisory Committee, upon activating with full force the full functionality of the Biafra government in exile, is to set up liaison office in Gabon between now and the 20th of March 2023. They are to set up liaison office in Mali between now and 20th of March 2023. They are to set up liaison office in Haiti between now and 20th of March 2023. They are to set up liaison office in Ivory Coast between now and 20th of March 2023. They are to set up a liaison office in Tanzania between now and 20th of March 2023. They are to set up a liaison office in Zambia between now and 20th of March 2023. They are to set up a liaison office, Biafra liaison office in Finland between now and 20th of March 2023. They are to set up a Biafra liaison office in France between now and 20th of March 2023. They are to set up a Biafra liaison office in Spain between now and 20th of March 2023. They are to set up a liaison office for Biafra in Portugal between now and 20th of March 2023. They are to set up Biafra liaison office in Norway between now and 20th of March 2023. They are to set up Biafra liaison office in Israel between now and 20th of March 2023. They are to set up Biafra liaison office in Zimbabwe between now and 20th of March 2023. They are to set up Biafra liaison office in South Africa between now and 20th of March 2023. They are to set up Biafra liaison office in Vatican City between now and 20th of March 2023. They are to set up Biafra liaison office in the United States of America between now and 20th of March 2023. They are to set up the Biafra liaison office in the United Kingdom between now and 20th of March 2023. They are to set up Biafra liaison office in Australia between now and 20th of March 2023. More of these countries will be announced as time goes on. And by the 20th of March on or before 20th of March 2023, Biafra liaison office will be fully functional in the countries that have been mentioned. And more directive will be given to those that will be piloting affairs in those liaison offices on the work they have to do. The autopilot in these countries mentioned must submit their details to the advisory committee for the further directive. More countries will be announced, and directive or specific task will be given to each liaison depending on the country of residence. To continue to show our resoluteness to exit Nigeria this year and never to validate Nigeria nor elect anyone to represent us within Nigeria state, considering the fact and the outcome of the just concluded fraud called election, where Biafra people listened to us and they never went out to validate the fraudulent election. Over 20 million Biafrans rejected this election. They did not participate in it because they want Biafra. Because of this, and how those elections in the past was conducted, and those who were elected in the past and presently in their various offices, the way they have killed our people, the way they are being used by the Fulanis to kill and infiltrate us and conquer our land. And they also turn against those who elected them after they have been elected within a Nigeria state. They want to turn our land and our zone into war zone. Today we see in Imo State has become the worst state in the southeast part of Biafra, where the fourth person was declared a winner, and he has been working against the interests of Biafra people. We do not want to validate any election that will bring in another governor to do the same in any part of Biafra land. For this reason, we hereby call for no Nigeria governorship and House of Assembly election in Biafra land. In the last election, it was only in Biafra land that was peaceful because majority were sitting at home, just like the number that I read to you, 20 million people sit at home. They decided not to participate. So what you saw in Biafra Street was just about 4 million people running and hiding here and there to validate Nigeria. It is more than a pass mark. For this reason, it was the reason why Biafra land recorded a very peaceful election where majority sit at home. This time around, we have received threat. We have received threat from one Nigerianist, especially those in Biafra land. We have received their threat, and I will add this threat for the record. Just for the record, I will add a threat coming from those that are supporting Nigeria in Biafra land. Then after that, we'll continue with my State of the Nation address.
Enugu State Ekelemunu Biko Odem Choriku Mem Chormena Gavaria and let it be so. This election you came on 11th. Anybody man know you got every presiding officer, pulling booth presiding officer. Every presiding officer I'm talking to you. Your SPO, your word SPO, you password, you upload. More correct. You return a plain boot. I think both to me make you upload. Now I do got you book. I do got you book. Mara now. Maradi make a upload. Resign Abiale, Megarale. The actual came upload. I actually network at going. I actually offline uploading. You are going to upload your result from the polling booth. It article email upload. It command the password the going. My name upload. Before you cook manal. As ready mag. This governorship election and House of Assembly. I yet go. Ya katani pa makarena na woli governor na enwere ike ya stars ma anyị chọrọ mehela p ọhadị n'olumuolumo puli boot munu bole ke onye na-ejile egusi m egwu ị ga-eme gị upload na ọ bụ ọnwụ sokeo akọrọ m story because I want am ndị anyị na-eke a na-ezuzu mmadụ takpa afụfụ bata voters card collect that voters card bịa kwụrụ line to my vote. Single person because you collected money, not only just your table, change the whole figure. God in heaven is watching. Our born generation is watching. Our ancestors are watching.
Right. This was a threat being issued by those in Biafra land. Some of them were among these 4 million that went out there to validate Nigeria in the last election. Today, they are issuing threat. They are threatening INEC officials who will come in their innocent way to conduct the fraudulent election in Biafra land. They are saying that if any INEC official come and the person claim not to have the password to upload the INEC, the voters' result from the polling unit to the server or whatever, that the person will be a dead person. And they're going to kill the person. So we are just putting it to the world that when people are being killed in Biafra land, then everybody should know that it is coming from the one Nigerianist who will stop at nothing to make sure that they validate Nigeria when the majority of the Biafra people from the last result have rejected the Nigeria. For this reason, in order to safeguard our people from being killed by the Nigeria agent, we hereby declare the 9th of March 2023 sit at home and ghost town. We also declare the 10th March 2023 as lockdown in entire Biafra land and ghost town, in demonstration to continue to reject the Nigeria and not to validate Nigeria, because in the coming days and weeks, we are entering a very different phase of the liberation. From the announcement I've just made so far, it will give you a direction to where we're going. On the 11th day of March, Biafra land will be under lock and key to reject validating Nigeria and to reject electing any governor that is going to represent Biafra people within the Nigeria state that will now bring the military to kill our people. Also, to not validate the fraud that will lead to the killings and maiming and burning of our villages and communities. On the 12th of March 2023, Biafra land will be under lock and key to make sure that we do not validate any Nigeria election within Biafra territory. In addition to this announcement, on the 10th of March, there will be curfew in all federal major roads linking Enugu, Ebonyi, Abia, Imo, and Anambra. The sit-at-home will be across the Biafra land. Let it be on record that the audio that I just played, which you listened to, is coming from Enugu State. It's coming from Nsukka. And the Enugu State is a place where the worst rigging happened. We saw how Enugu State was on lockdown on the 25th day of February 2023, only for us to see that 400,000 people came out and voted. We do not know how they concocted the vote. We are aware that a lot of results were written in church for the Labour Party that have resulted to the attack that is happening across Nigeria against Ndibo. On this note, I thank you, Biafra people, for being part of this broadcast today. And remember the history of Bangladesh and Pakistan. It is replicating in Biafra, and our freedom is here. Wait for the next State of the Nation on what is going to happen and how we are going to move forward from here. As our countdown ended today, today will begin the day that every president of Nigeria state within Biafra territory will be engaged. Thank you. May God bless you. May God bless Biafra. May God bless our friends and neighbors. May God bless our alliances. May God bless all of you, the supporters of this particular liberation of Biafra. And before the end of this year, we are going to be in Biafra and we'll liberate ourselves from Nigeria. Thank you. May God bless you. Goodbye.
All right, my people, you've heard from our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, and D6, what is in place, right, for, Biafra's freedom this year, 2023. Let us see your thoughts in the comment section. Share your thoughts. Tell us what you think about what our Prime Minister said, right? And in case you've not subscribed to this channel, please do it to subscribe. Click on the notification bell so you don't get to miss out on subsequent videos that we upload. And don't forget to share on all your social media platforms. Thank you very much. God bless.